It means India's concern about this region and the rising instability in this region. It means India's concern about the human rights of people in this region and the wish to have people in Afghanistan do better, have a normal life away from violence and away from extremist bonds and suffering. It does alter the dynamics in this region in a significant way, and intended towards peace and stability in this region, intended towards an end to the use of extremism and radicalism as an instrument of policy. And that's what we must all do. So we are no longer suffering from it. So we no longer lose people to bomb blasts or attacks organized by extremists and terrorists and used by state missions.
So vis-a-vis Pakistan, do you think Pakistan will eventually change its policy and the way it has been hurting Afghanistan, which you have always spoken about? Do you see a change coming?
We have been hurt tremendously. No nation has suffered as much at the hands of extremism and radicalism and militancy from these two, forces, these two manifestations, as we have in Afghanistan. Therefore, yes, we will seek all the means and every means available peacefully to bring a recognition to our brothers in Pakistan that extremism will not get them what they want. And that only a civilized relationship will get them what they want. That if they don't stop, the consequences for Pakistan are already emerging in a very, very hurtful way, which we don't want. It's the innocents in Pakistan that suffer the consequences of a bad policy. We want the bad policy to end so people in Pakistan live a happy, better life. Of course, this is a constant theme of conversations between us. This is a constant theme of conversations between India and Afghanistan. Extremism, radicalism, religious extremism is what is causing in terms of life and property and opportunities that we keep losing towards a better future. So we did discuss this, and ISIS has to be taken very, very seriously by India. It is a totally foreign phenomenon in our region. It's used for sinister purposes. Therefore, we must together and jointly address it and stop it.
How is it significantly different from what Taliban or other groups signify? How is ISIS? Why is ISIS so sinister and so different and so more dangerous than any other group?
Its objectives are more sinister. The Taliban are localized, and they are Afghans. ISIS is non-Afghan. It's not indigenous, and then it thinks rooted and in a hurtful way. Therefore, you have to be extremely careful in India. Therefore, you have to be up and alert. That India was cautious in its provision of support to Afghanistan as far as military support was concerned.
India should be bolder?
India should be a lot bolder, of course, and I demanded even then that India should take some bolder steps in support of Afghanistan. India was considerate of the views of Pakistan, surprisingly. And India was considerate of the views of the United States at that time. I want India to have its own considerations, its own interests, and be mindful of its own relations with Afghanistan and the need for the two countries to live a safer life away from the threats of extremism and terrorism. And that's where India matters, that's where Afghanistan matters. So, a stable, a strong Afghanistan means a less attrition India, and that's important.
But there is a certain kind of military equipment which India can provide to the Afghan National Army, and that would increase the capability and enhance the capability. And what would you say to that? How would
well, it's an array of things that India can do. India knows the state of our military very well. They know for our conditions, they know what we need in training, in equipment, and in hardware, military hardware. So it's a plethora of things. It's a wide range of things that India can do. India has those means available to it. It has local production of some of the weapons. It has full knowledge of the functionality of those weapons, and it can train Afghans in use of those weapons and equipment.
So in the scenario which is developed post Prime Minister Modi speaking about Balochistan and Pakistan, Kashmir and Pakistan, do you see India going out and doing more on military support to Afghanistan?
Well, I hope very much that India would bolster its support for Afghanistan further and strengthen the Afghan forces and have a presence that would bring to Afghanistan stability and peace and to this region. Of course, at the same time, we must also both seek all our means, all our possibilities for improved relations with our neighbour Pakistan. We both need that. We hope that will be a dream achieved today. He is tremendously grateful for the assistance that India has given, for his own strong stand vis-à-vis Afghanistan and the region, for being an outspoken and clear mind on these issues. I hope there will be peace. I hope the suffering there will end. I hope there will be no bloodshed, and I hope there will be no interference from outside.
What do you make of the recent constructions, etc., being done by Pakistan on the Durand line?
Terribly wrong, strongly against it. Hopefully it will be good and legitimate. I hope that we'll have our Royal Jirga as soon as possible, so we can decide for ourselves as to what form of constitutional functioning we want to have, whether presidential form of government or parliamentary form of government or some arrangement that will be acceptable to the Afghan people and that will run smoothly in the interest of Afghanistan.